want to thank you all, each and every one of you, from the bottom of my heart for attending this march. I'll give you just a little perspective from what I do and why it's important. The three issues that we're pushing this year: first of all, parental notification. We have a state law that requires that the parent, at least one parent of a minor girl who is seeking an abortion, has to be notified by the abortionist that the girl's having an abortion. There's obviously very practical reasons aside from the right to life why that's important. This is surgery or the administration of a dangerous drug, RU46. And so a parent ought to know in case there are complications, which there often are from abortions. The current law allows a loophole that they could go to a judge and get the judge to bypass that parental notification requirement. What we found is that ends up being a rubber stamp. And so we are shutting that loophole off. So the only situation in which a parent wouldn't be notified is if the parent himself or herself is abusing the child. So this will help not only parental rights, but we think it'll absolutely deter some abortions, because sometimes what happens is, let's say you have an older man gets a teenage girl pregnant, a statutory rapist. They can take that girl to an abortion clinic today and have her get an abortion to hide the evidence of their crime without the parents even knowing. We're going to shut that off. We're going to shut that off this year. That's House Bill 1588. It has passed it's authored by our good friend, State Representative Rebecca Hamilton. And by the way, Rebecca sends her regrets that she could not be here today. She is sick, really sick. She texted me yesterday, it's like, oh, I feel terrible, but tell everybody that I'm really sorry I couldn't be there, but she's not going to be at the Capitol at all today. And then in the Senate, it's authored by Senator A.J. Griffin from northern Oklahoma. Then the second bill that we're going for this year is House Bill 2015 authored by State Representative Sean Roberts from Hominy and State Senator Kyle Lovelace from South Oklahoma City. This bill is an abortion reporting requirement. You know, we have these pro-life laws in the books, but it's tough sometimes to know whether the abortionists are complying with those laws. We already have a law in the books that requires them to report some things. This updates that law to require some additional reporting from laws we passed the last few years. So kind of an aid to enforcement. Then the third issue, I should say, we have two bills, a House bill and a Senate bill. On this third issue deals with the other end of the life spectrum, end of life. And so Senate Bill 915 and House Bill 1403, both authored by Senator Anthony Sykes from South Oklahoma City and Moore in the Senate, and Representative Dennis Johnson from Duncan in the House. Duncan, all right. These bills, both are identical bills, and what they do is they prevent the discriminatory denial of life-sustaining treatment. It's a civil rights bill that says your medical provider, just because your medical provider might think that your quality of life is good, they do not have the right to deny you treatment based on that. Okay, so in other words, you've got, let's say you have a doctor who is an atheist, and he thinks, oh, if you're not going to be, walking around and talking and all that, you might as well kill yourself. And so I'm not going to give you this treatment that will sustain your life because I don't think your quality of life is very good. This bill would say, wait a minute, that patient or that patient's legal representative has the authority to say, no, you can't deny that treatment based on that. Just because your philosophy differs from mine doesn't give you the right to put me to death. And so we're going to protect vulnerable, sick, and elderly people from being put to death by the arbitrary decisions of a medical provider. So all these bills have passed out of the House of Origin. So the three House bills have gone out of the House or in the Senate, and they are going to be scheduled for a hearing. And the Senate Bill 915, is going to be scheduled. All of them are scheduled next week. We tried to get them to try to do it this week when we'd be here, but that logistically did not work out. But if you are not on our Oklahomans for Life mailing list, I would urge you find me during this process sometime and get signed up, and we'll get that legislative alert out when it's going to be voted on so that you can contact your legislators and urge them to vote pro-life, again, as you will be doing today.